XDefiant's ranked playtest has been an interesting experience for sure. It's the beginning of a new esport and I've definitely been learning a lot, but unfortunately guys, I'm still buns. Coming from COD, this 4v4 ranked format is pretty much exactly what I want from this game. Ranked features every mode except Hotshot, so to be able to win consistently in ranked, you'll have to be familiar with every mode. It's kinda like a triathlon, and I love the variety in gameplay and playstyle it creates. As much as I love Occupy, if ranked was only Occupy, like I'm betting a lot of COD players wished it would be, I think we'd all be missing out. While the matchmaking in the playtest has been a little weird at times, when you get a decent matchup, you can actually get some really fun games. I recommend anyone of any skill level give ranked a fair shot when it fully drops with Season 1. Even if you're solo, but especially if you've got a squad. It's going to give you close, intense games that you can perform well in against equally skilled players. The feeling of true teamwork within this game is great, especially if you've got a few friends to play with. And even if you think you're the worst player ever, you'd be surprised at the plays you'll make and how you can improve when you're playing competitively against equally skilled players. And even if you don't care at all about improving at a video game, it's just good fun where if you're playing with the boys, you actually feel like a team working together compared to 6v6. The best way I can describe why I like 4v4 is that the map becomes quieter and less chaotic with less players, and when you go on a streak, it's a lot less likely for someone to luckily run up behind you and end that streak. The enemy team has to actually work together to track you down and stop you, all while your team is winning the game. The game slows down, and every kill, every objective matters so much more. I know there's a lot of you out there that are more casual players who would never touch ranked, but if you're someone who hates when your team doesn't play the objective, seriously, give ranked a fair shot. That issue is a non-factor in ranked. Everybody's trying to win, not get kills. You'll see them playing the objective every time. Sure, your random teammates will still make plenty of mistakes and let you down, but don't forget you'll probably make plenty of mistakes and let them down too. And that's okay. Even if you're unfamiliar with the 4v4 format, you'll start to find your groove, and when you go on a nice 4 or 5 kill streak to secure the dub for your team, you'll start itching for more. With there being only 4 players, whenever I find 2 kills, I always find myself hunting to finish the squad wipe. You really feel the value you get from killing those 2 players. That's half the enemy team. The linear modes have been new territory for me and a lot of COD players, but I've been appreciating learning these modes in a competitive setting, and I think other COD players will too once they've played them more. Once you understand the linear format, the modes are much simpler and straight up compared to Occupy and Domination. I say this because of the attack and defend format of the modes. In Occupy and even Domination, spawns and objectives are constantly moving all over the map. You're flipping spawns, you've got players wrapping the map to make long flanks. In Linear, you don't have to worry about that really. You know the enemy's coming from their side and your team is coming from your side. Once you start learning the timings, you'll start to find the gaps and see the plays you can make, especially in 4v4. Obviously, Overwatch players are right at home in these modes, and I'm not surprised it's clicking a lot easier for them, while COD players are probably mostly sticking with Occupy and Domination. If you're coming from competitive 4v4 COD like me, and you're now trying out ranked XDefiant, and you're not really feeling the linear modes, just slow your gameplay down a little bit while you start to get the flow and timings down. Use your abilities and work with your team as you're getting more comfortable. The beauty of XDefiant at its core is that it's got something that players from all these other FPS genres will enjoy. Whether that's high stopping power in the DMRs for the players coming from Valorant and CSGO, a solid burst rifle in the Domination game mode for Halo players, Occupy, quickscoping, and weapon loadouts for COD players, solid movement for Apex players, and the linear modes for Overwatch players. The game allows everyone to bring some prior knowledge and mechanics from other games to actually impact the game and win. Everybody's got a little something they can bring to the table, and it's awesome. I'm very curious to see if XDefiant will do what COD did with Ranked and restrict guns that mouse and keyboard players gravitate towards like the DMRs and snipers. They have a tough situation on their hands. Either way, people will complain. Restricting guns will anger a lot of people, especially mouse and keyboard players. I've seen it on COD already. But for the players coming from competitive 4v4 COD, not restricting certain guns and stuff like prox mines would have them complaining about cheese. We've already seen unofficial tournaments banning shotguns, DMRs, LMGs, and even snipers in Respawn, and players are even agreeing not to use the AK and the M16 until they're nerfed. And like, I get it, and I might be a bit faded for this, but at the first official competition, assuming they've balanced the guns a bit by that point, I personally want to at least see everything in play, especially if the game is open to mouse and keyboard players, to really see the cheese for myself. Like, shotguns seem like an obvious ban, but maybe the developers think they have the balancing in the right spot. Maybe pick banning guns and factions will be the answer, but as someone who has agreed with nearly every competitive COD ban and GA in the book, I think restricting guns right out the gate isn't the play. Bans or no bans, all I know is I can't wait to see some official competition with a nice spectator POV. I've seen people saying that the competitive format should be 5v5, but I just think it would add too much chaos, especially in the arena modes. 5 people trying to communicate rapidly in such a fast-paced game would be madness. We've seen it and played it in COD, and it was not pretty. I think their vision is 4v4 with this game, and I'm all for it, but I'm biased. So many FPS esports are 5v5, I can see why so many people want this one to be too. I've been trying to keep an open mind with this being the first month of a new competitive game, but now that we've been seeing more tournaments, I've been seeing a lot of players saying they don't like domination. I definitely wasn't excited for domination, but it's kind of been growing on me as I've gotten to play it a little bit in the ranked playtest. But when playing the game at the highest level, it's a lot different. I think they gotta make some changes, maybe to how fast you can capture and decapture flags, and then maybe that'll make the game a bit more dynamic with the back and forth if people aren't stuck sitting on flags for as long. Who knows, maybe other modes will come in and replace domination, but for now, at least for me, the mode I was least excited for has actually been kind of fun. It kind of feels like a nice throwback to Black Ops 1 4v4 domination. Thanks for watching, and a special thanks to all of those who subscribe to the channel. If you want a special shout out at the end of the video, subscribe and drop a comment with your sub number down below. I'm also streaming on Twitch, starting around noon PST until 6, every day except Monday and Tuesday. The link is in the description. Come say what's up. But when this video is posted, I think I'll be camping still, but I'll be back on like Wednesday.